Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to discuss regulation of enzymes activity. And under regulation of enzymes activity, we will discuss allosteric enzymes. The key concepts behind this are: what is allosteric regulation, and what is difference between allosteric regulation and inhibition, and what are the allosteric effectors which are responsible for carrying out the regulation of certain enzymes, and what are the V and K class of the allosteric enzymes, which depends on the velocity and the K constant. And next is the what's the compartmentation. In the biological system, regulation of enzymes activities occur at different stages in one or more of the following ways to achieve cellular economy. It means that if cell needs and it is need of the cell and it is required that the concentration of a specific enzyme should be kept at a certain optimum level. It doesn't be beyond from the optimum level and not below it. And therefore there are certain ways by which this cellular economy or the optimum concentration of enzyme can be get. And this is carried out by this certain mechanisms, and which are the allosteric regulation activities of the latent enzymes, and compartmentation of the metabolic pathways, and control of enzyme synthesis, enzyme degradation, and isoenzymes. It means that these are the different ways by which the um, enzymes concentration can be kept at certain optimum levels. First, we will discuss the allosteric regulation and allosteric inhibition. And you know that some of the enzymes have a specific site, and these sites are in spite of the active site, or it's also called an additional site instead of the active site, and therefore such type of the enzymes are called allosteric enzymes, and these specific sites are called allosteric sites. And also it is derived from the Greek word which stands allo as other, and it means that site other than the active site. And such enzymes are known as the allosteric enzymes due to because they possess these additional sites, and the allosteric sites are unique places on the enzyme's molecule. It means that these sites are not the very unusual one, but these are the quite specific, and these are the unique in their behavior. They have the characteristic properties. Next is the allosteric effectors. And what are the allosteric effectors? It means that there are certain molecules or the substances, and these they are known as or they behave as the effectors, and therefore they cause certain effects or modifications on the surface or in the, you can say, the chemistry of the enzyme, and therefore to cause and they may cause a positive effect or the negative effect. It's the background. And therefore the certain substances which are referred to as the allosteric modulators. Modulator means responsible for causing or for the production of a certain modulation. It means that changes, and these changes or the letters, these may cause the positive effect or the negative effect. Therefore, they are also called as effectors or the modifiers. It means that they causes certain effects on or modify the you can say the overall stereochemistry or overall the conformation of the enzymes. And these allosteric modulators, they bind at the allosteric sites, and these allosteric sites are very unique and the specific on the enzyme. And in fact, in this way they regulate the enzyme activity. And enzyme activity is increased when the positive allosteric effector binds at the allosteric site, which is known as the activator site. And on the other hand, if negative allosteric effector binds at the allosteric site, which is called as the inhibitor site, the overall enzyme activity will be inhibited. It means that enzyme activity may be increased by binding of allosteric effectors, or the enzyme activity may be decreased. And in a case when enzyme activity is increased, then such type of the effectors, they are called as the allosteric effectors. And or overall the site at which these molecules or the effectors will bind, that site will be called as the activator site. It means that by binding of these effector molecules at the activating site, overall there is enhanced enzyme activity or enhancement in the enzyme activity, or overall the speed of the reaction, you can say, is increased. But if the negative allosteric effector binds, then it may cause the inhibition of the enzyme activity. It means that enzyme activity, if enzyme is participating in a biological reaction very proficiently or actively, but due to the binding of these effectors molecule at the effector site or the allosteric site, overall the enzyme activity is inhibited, and therefore such type of the molecule will be called as the you can say overall they are the negative effectors molecule, or negative uh, uh, mm, impact causing molecules. And in this way, it's not always the necessary that effectors or the modifiers, they bind mm, at the allosteric site, and they always increase the enzyme velocity or always decrease the enzyme velocity. But there is always existence of the probability that enzyme speed or the velocity may be raised or it may be decreased. Next are the classes of the allosteric enzymes. Enzymes that are regulated by the allosteric mechanism. It means that instead of active site, yes, there is presence of another site which is called as the allosteric site. And there must be binding of some modulators or the effectors at the you can say the allosteric site. And therefore these sites, and in fact these effectors, are responsible for the regulation of the enzyme. Regulation means they control the overall enzyme activity. They are responsible for the enhancement, or they are also responsible for the decreasing of the enzyme activity. And therefore enzymes that are regulated by the allosteric mechanism, they are overall referred to as the allosteric enzymes. And further they are divided into two classes, which is based on the influence of the allosteric effectors, and on Km and the Vmax value. It means that when allosteric effectors or the modulators bind at the enzyme allosteric site, they may increase or decrease the Km value, or they may influence or are responsible for causing a change in the Vmax value. And therefore, due to these, you can say, by affecting these two parameters like Km and the Vmax, there are two classes of enzymes. One is the K class, and the second is the V class of the allosteric enzyme. And first of all is the K class of allosteric enzyme. In this case, when effectors bind at the allosteric site, it causes change in the Km value and not the Vmax. And in this case, Km is not changing. Therefore, on the you can say the from the Km, this name for this class is derived as the K class, and not the overall the Vmax value doesn't change, and there is changing in the Km value. And therefore the double reciprocal plots, which we have discussed in the Lineweaver double reciprocal plots, that the linear relationship or the linear line, you can say the straight line is obtained, which doesn't pass through the origin, and therefore its behavior is similar to the competitive inhibition. It means that K class of the allosteric enzymes, there is changing in the Km value, but the Vmax remains the same. And their double reciprocal Lineweaver double reciprocal plot resembles like that of the competitive inhibition, in which the inhibitor binds at the active side of the enzyme, and it correspondingly it compete uh, for the active side with that of the substrate. And one well-known enzyme is the phosphofructokinase. Next is the V class of the allosteric enzyme, and the effector alters the Vmax value. It means that Vmax value will change and not the Km value. And therefore the double reciprocal plots resembles that of the non-competitive inhibition. And in the non-competitive inhibition, the Km value will remain same, but Vmax value, we have studied in that graphical representation that Vmax value have been decreased. And the enzyme which is responsible for causing the change in the Vmax value, but not the Km value for the allosteric enzyme, you can say, you can quote a simple example, which is the acetyl CoA carboxylase. And next is the conformation change in the allosteric enzymes. It means that when effectors, modulators, they bind to the allosteric side of the allosteric enzymes, and there must be change in the overall stereochemistry, or you can say the overall three-dimensional arrangement or the conformation of the enzyme. And therefore it has been seen that the most of the allosteric enzymes, they are oligomer in nature. Oligomer means they consist of more than one units, and these units are always called as the subunits. And in these allosteric enzymes, these subunits may be of same nature or they may be different. It means that these subunits may be from the, you can say, identical overall you can say size, shape, and the chemistry, or they may be different one. And the non-covalent reversible binding of the effector molecule at the allosteric site brings about a conformational change. It means that at the allosteric site, these effectors, or you can say modulators, they will bind through the non-covalent linkages, and these linkages, or you can say overall binding process, must be the reversible one. It means that yes, such type of the molecules will be removed from the enzyme site, and therefore this enzyme may be involved in a certain other process, or it may be reused. And therefore these conformational change in the active site of the enzymes, they are leading to the inhibition or the activation of the catalytic activity of the enzyme. And in the concerted model, and in the concerted model, there is a focus on the subunits. It means that for the allosteric enzyme, if there is change in the conformation of one subunit, then other subunits may, in most of the cases, they respond correspondingly, and there is also change in the conformation of the other subunits as well. And therefore, for the allosteric enzyme, it has been shown that they exist in two conformational states. These states are the T state and the R state. T from the tense or the taut state, and R from the relaxed. It means that there is equilibrium between the T and the R state. And how it occurs, in fact, when with the T state, uh, you can say the binding of the substrate or the allosteric activator always preferred the R state relaxed form of the, yeah, or the relaxed state of the enzyme, whereas the allosteric inhibitor preferred the T state. And overall, the, you can say, the substrate or the activator, it will promotes the R or the relaxed state, whereas the allosteric inhibitor will promote the more concentration of the enzyme in the 10 state or the T state. Therefore, here I have written for you that the allosteric inhibitors favor T state, whereas activator or the substrate will favor R or the relaxed state. And the substrate can bind only with the R or the relaxed form of the enzyme. It means that when the enzyme is in the 10 state, then the substrate will not bind, and the catalysis will not proceed. And here is the overall the diagrammatic representation of the allosteric enzyme. uh, Figure A represents the T form or the tense form of the enzyme. B represents the relaxed form, R form. And with the C, it means that at when the enzyme is in the T or the tense state, then there is binding of inhibitor. It means that here is the binding of inhibitor, and overall this is representation is for the 10 state of the enzyme. And it's the relaxed state, as therefore the you can say activator or the overall, you can say, substrate will bind with the relaxed state. And the concentration of enzyme molecules in the R state increases as more substrate is added. It means that if in the, if these reactions are going to take place in the in vitro studies, that it has been shown by the experimental procedures that if we increase the concentration of enzyme molecule with the passage of time, then there is more probability for the enzyme to remain in the R state. And in fact, the concentration of enzyme molecule in R state increases, and more substrate, when more substrate is added one, it means that if we increase the substrate concentration with the passage of time after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then the overall concentration of enzyme is no doubt in a certain, you can say, mechanism or a certain study. If the total enzyme units are like 10, then out of these 10, if we increase the substrate concentration, for example, at the start, if these molecule of the enzymes are like in the two numbers, it means that only two enzyme molecules are in the relaxed form. But when we increase the substrate concentration, the number of the enzyme molecule increases from 2 to 8. It means that by increasing the substrate concentration, the concentration of enzyme in the relaxed state is also increased. And therefore, the binding of the substrate to the allosteric enzyme is said to be cooperative one. It means that when the substrate will bind with the enzyme at its allosteric site, then this substrate binding will definitely enhance the catalytic activity of the enzyme, and overall the behavior of the substrate will be regarded as the cooperative one. And allosteric enzymes give a sigmoidal curve instead of hyperbola when the velocity versus substrate concentration are plotted. And you can see this pattern from here, the graphical representation. In this case, the enzyme velocity is plotted against the substrate concentration. And from here you can say that the hyperbolic curve is in the absence of, and there is no allosteric behavior. But when the effect of substrate concentration is seen on the allosteric enzyme, which is shown in the purplish red line sigmoidal curve, then its comparison is done with the normal enzyme bluish line in the hyperbolic curve. And you can say that yes, there is change in the pattern of the enzymatic, you can say, or the catalysis of the enzymatic reaction. It means that yes, by rising the substrate concentration, the pattern is not like the hyperbolic one, it's the sigmoidal form. And here you can say there is effect on the enzyme velocity. Like it's here the substrate concentration is more, but here the substrate concentration is less to enhance the enzyme velocity. It means that progressively, yes, if we draw a line like this, it requires less substrate concentration, it requires more substrate concentration. It means by rising the substrate concentration in comparison to the normal enzyme, yes, the same or the high velocity can be attained. And therefore the two terms originated from here, which is the homotropic effect and the heterotropic effect. Number first is the homotropic effect, and it is used if the substrate influences the substrate binding through the allosteric mechanism. It means that some substrate concentration is already there, and this substrate definitely influences the or overall it will you can say show its positive effect. It will promote that more substrate will bind through the allosteric mechanism at the allosteric side of the enzyme. Therefore, it means that the already homo means same type of the thing promote the same substances binding at the allosteric site. Substrate is already there, and substrate is now promoting the binding towards the enzyme. It means that the overall effect is the homotropic. Heterotropic is then if there is two dissimilar things and they are affecting the you can say binding of the substrate to the allosteric enzyme. And the heterotropic effect is used when an allosteric modulator affect the binding of the substrate to the enzyme. It means that yes, there is some other molecule instead of the substrate, and this molecule is the modulator or the effector, and it affects the overall process or mechanism for the binding of the substrate to the enzyme. And in this case, it has been seen that the heterotropic interactions, they are either positive or the negative. And here are shown some selected example of the allosteric enzymes which are responsible for the rapid control of the biochemical pathways. Like here, some examples of the enzyme with their allosteric effectors. Like if we talk about the enzyme hexokinase, it controls or overall take part in the glycolysis. And for its uh, you can pick out the inhibitor and the activator. And for it, the glucose 6 phosphate, which is the glucose molecule with the phosphate at 6 position attached, it behaves as the inhibitor. It means that at the allosteric side, glucose 6 phosphate will attach with the enzyme hexokinase, and it control or overall inhibit the glycolysis procedure or the mechanism. And like the phosphofructokinase, it also take part in the glycolysis, and for it ATP is the inhibitor. But for its activation or for the working of this enzyme phosphofructokinase, AMP, adenosine monophosphate or adenosine diphosphate, they act as the activator. And lastly, it's the simple enzyme is acetyl CoA carboxylate, which take part in the fatty acid synthesis reaction. and palmitate behaves as the inhibitor for this enzyme. It binds to the allosteric side and inhibit the activity of carboxylase enzyme, whereas the isocitrate behaves as the activator. Next is the compartmentation. Compartmentation means in some segments, in some parts, there are certain substances in the body, for example, fatty acids, glycogen, which are synthesized and are degraded. We have gone through the mechanism and the metabolic pathway of fatty acid synthesis, fatty acid degradation, in which we have studied the degradation of the overall the you can say the uh, triacyl glycerol, and we have also gone through the buildup of cholesterol molecule and also their degradation. And also we have gone through the formation of the glycogen from the glucose units, and also the degradation of the glycogen to provide the glucose into the process which are known as the glucogenesis and glycogenolysis. Glycogenesis means formation of glycogen, and glycogenolysis means degradation of the glycogen into glucose. It means that all the time in the body, some molecule are going to be degrade, whereas the at the certain other time, such type of molecule like glycogen, they are going to be formed. It means that all the time there is a dynamic equilibrium in all these biomolecules. Sometime there is going to be anabolism or the formation. Sometime there is breakdown or the catabolism. This is the overall background of the compartmentation, or overall you can say that the regulation of enzymatic activity is also occurs through the process of compartmentation. And there is no point for the simultaneous occurrence of the both pathway. It means that the both process like synthesis is at you can say in one pathway, or degradation in another pathway. These such type of the reaction, it has been observed that don't occur simultaneously, but in the certain cells or in the certain tissues, you can say there is formation of some biomolecule and there is degradation in certain other tissues or the part of the cell. And therefore the overall it has been seen generally the synthetic or the anabolism or formation of the new molecule and the breakdown or the catabolic pathways, they are operative in different cellular organelles. It means that synthesis of like glycogen will take place in some certain tissue or you can say organelle, whereas the glycogen formation and glycogen on the other side, glycogen degradation into glucose will take place on the in the other organelles. Therefore, what's the agenda or what's the importance of this anabolism and catabolism taking place in different organelles is that in order to achieve maximum economy means in sense of the concentration, in sense of the optimum level. And for instance, enzymes for fatty acid synthesis, they are found in the cytosol, as we have discussed the synthesis of fatty acid in very detailed way. And we have found that it occurs in the cytosol, whereas the enzyme for fatty acid oxidation like beta oxidation, alpha and so on, they are present in the mitochondria. It means that at in some you can say organelles, the fatty acid molecules are going to be synthesized, whereas the fatty acid molecules are going to be degraded, but the organelle is changed, like cytosol and the mitochondria are going to take part or providing the space for such type of the reaction to occur. and therefore the intracellular location of certain enzymes and metabolic pathway is given as. It means that in the next table, tabulation form, you can see the presence of the certain enzymes in a cell and the metabolic process which they are monitoring or carrying out. Here are shown the organelle and against it the enzyme or the metabolic pathway. Like first of all, organelle is the cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm, aminotransferases enzyme, peptidases, glycolysis, which is the degradation of the glucose, hexose monophosphate shunt, fatty acid synthesis, they occur in the cytoplasm. Whereas in mitochondria, fatty acid oxidation, like alpha, beta, gamma oxidation to provide energy, amino acid oxidation, Krebs cycle, urea synthesis, electron transport chain, and the oxidative phosphorylation, they occurs in the mitochondria. And nucleus is very specific for the synthesis of the DNA and the RNAs. And like Golgi apparatus, we have also studied it that the glucose 6 phosphatase and peroxisomes enzymes in the peroxisomes, the enzymes like catalase, urate oxidase, and the D-amino acid oxidase, they are, you can say, high, they are present in the high concentration. Or overall, you can say through the compartmentation, there is monitoring between the synthesis, you can say anabolism and degradation or the catabolism of the enzymes. And overall, you can say the biomolecule synthesis will occur in one compartment, whereas the biomolecule degradation will occur in certain other pathway. Like we have quoted example of the glycogen, fatty acid, its oxidation and the synthesis. It means that some organs are responsible for the synthesis of the biomolecule, whereas some other organelles are responsible for the degradation. And for assignment, you have to make or give the answer to these two questions. What are the best tools to find the allostatic sites? That what tools are present in the biochemistry which are taking part or which are providing the information to how to find out the allostatic site. And number two is, can a single subunit enzyme have the allostatic site? It means that overall enzyme has the one subunit, and can this enzyme having a single subunit can behave as the allostatic enzyme? You have to give answer in yes or no with justification. And it's all about today's lecture. And best wishes and Allah Hafiz, students.